Welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, November 4th, 2016. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Acknowledging that the unemployment rate in SVG is high, Minister of Economic Planning and Sustainable Development, Camilo Gonzalez, is of the opinion that this is due to the fact that there is not enough jobs to employ every Vincentian who has a degree or the right qualifications. Highlighting various government initiatives while addressing a town hall meeting in Toronto, Canada recently, Minister Gonzalez stressed the need for growth in the Vincentian economy, which he said will lead to the creation of more jobs. He noted that growth will come through the development and enhancement of sectors such as tourism and also by fostering a sense of entrepreneurship within the Vincentian society, especially among the nation's youth.
Of the unemployment in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is unskilled labor. It is not skilled labor. What you get is that there are a number of people immediately after graduation who don't have a job. So if you do the survey in July, August, you'll hear that there are a lot of young people who don't have jobs. So they've just come out of college. And if you do the same study in January, you'll see that the number is a lot lower because they found work. People feel that when they come out of school, they must get a job with the government instead of being an entrepreneur and starting their own business or working in the private sector. And it's because we have a private sector still that is very much in large part a mom and pop private sector. So you have a supermarket that is owned by a particular family and they hire their family members and so on and so forth.
Noting that the issue of unemployment is more serious among persons who do not possess the requisite skills or formal qualifications, Minister Gonzalez pointed out that his government's aim is to create more opportunities for these individuals to become skilled, especially in the technology field.
Can't wait. We can't grow the economy and say we don't have anybody to fill the jobs. We have to try to do both simultaneously. And sometimes it will seem like we're producing more people than there are jobs. We are trying to educate a highly skilled workforce because if we don't have that cadre of highly skilled people, what's going to happen is that we're going to have to find slots for them lower on the ladder, and when we bring in that investment, we're not going to have people who can do the jobs. We're going to also have to import not only the investment but import the talent to do the jobs. And what we don't want to create is a situation where we say, look, we have a lot of big companies in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Look at this one, look at that one. But when you look at the manager, the vice president, and everybody else down the chain, they're all from overseas. And the Vincentians are doing the lower level work. We want to have highly qualified people as well.
The government minister further called on persons to not only seek employment opportunities locally, but to also think about working within the OECS and the CARICOM sub-region.
We want people to also find work outside of our shores. We want people to find work throughout the Eastern Caribbean. We want people to find work throughout CARICOM. We don't mind if people go overseas and get work. But we want to make sure that when they enter the employment chain, they're entering at a high level. So that it's better for me, it's better for the government if you get a job paying you a lot of money than a job paying you a little bit of money, whether it is at home or whether it is abroad. If you get a job at home paying a lot of money, you're going to pay us more taxes. If you get a job overseas paying you a lot of money, you're going to send home more money. So it's always better for us. So we want to educate.
The Chamber of Industry and Commerce is seeking to have a seat at the table to be heavily involved in the operations of the Argyle International Airport. Managing Director of Developing Labs, Mauricia Fisal, had a mouthful in regards to plans for the project's opening. Nolisha Miller has the details in this report.
The Chamber of Industry and Commerce's Managing Director for Developing Labs, Mauricia Fisal, has given the assurance that the private sector is preparing itself for this country's major phenomenon, the operation of the Argyle International Airport. Speaking with SVG-TV News on Thursday, Fiesel said while members are skeptical about the opening date of the airport, they know that there are opportunities to take advantage of and niche markets to be maximized.
Well, I think that it depends on the size of the business, really. The larger businesses like ECGC, St. Vincent Distillers, these companies are prepared for exports. They are already exporting. All that will happen with the operationalization is that that part of their business becomes a little easier, a little more efficient. But for other businesses who may be thinking, oh, well, I am not flour mills, what am I getting ready for? There's so many markets that are going to be open, niche markets even. We don't necessarily have to worry about scale anymore. The fact that we're small does not have to be a deterrent. Once we have this this project completed, it will be able to open opportunities for private sector. So in the meanwhile, I think part of the problem is that the private sector, we are getting ready. We are making preparations behind the scenes. We're trying to put plans in place, but it is not going to be something very public and open because we're still a little tepid about when we're going to open.
At the same time, Executive Director of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Tony Regisford, is confident that the operation of the international airport will create economic activity nationwide.
Where there's a market for something, where there's an opportunity, people fill that space. And I tell you, a lot of what happens in business has to do with how the market drives business. If there's an opportunity, you will see people pop up to seize that opportunity. So I think the most important thing is that the airport, if it is a big boost to the hospitality industry, the spin-offs from the hospitality industry creates the sort of economic activity that provides opportunity for many sectors within the commercial, the private sector.
When asked how the business community should begin to position itself to reap the benefits of the international airport, Regisford acknowledged that it is a tricky question as it is mainly about playing the observation game.
Essentially, it's a watch and see. You have to be prepared. If you see, like I said, if you see the rise in commercial activity, then as a business person, you see how you can take use of some of the market opportunities. I cannot see it as any definite plan where somebody will expand their business now on the basis that the Argyle International Airport is going to open.
Meanwhile, Digital's marketing manager Daniel Cupid told SVG-TV News that the telecommunications company is working studiously to see how best they can get a piece of the pie.
We're here today in the capacity, we're still in the process of negotiation in terms of getting our branding and different stuff in place for the opening of the airport. But it is something that we've had in the back of our minds for quite a while, thinking proactively as to how we can take advantage of the opportunities that would come with the opening of the airport.
We also caught up with one employee at the site who explained that while work is progressing, the weather is a concern.
Well, so far the painting has been going kind of slow because of the weather condition and so on, but otherwise we are progressing smoothly with the painting outside and everything. So hopefully as soon as the weather will hold up a little, we'll be able to continue with the rest of painting we have going on the outside. We just finished the fire station over there, complete that. So we just started over here on the front side of the building here. But because of the weather, as I told you, we can't really do anything. It's a kind of a hold up, and we're still waiting to get some power washing and so on that side of the building so we can continue down that side of the building.
Thursday's event was organized by the Chamber of Industry and Commerce as a follow-up session from a recent luncheon, which was geared towards identifying areas where the private sector can benefit from when the airport becomes a reality. Nolisha Miller, The Evening News.
With the near completion of the Argyle International Airport, Minister of Transport, Works, Urban Development and Local Government, Julian Francis, has his eyes set on the relocation of the crushing plant at the AIA to the constituency of North Leeward. Francis, who spoke at the recently held groundbreaking ceremony of the Spring Village Cumberland Bridge Reconstruction and River Embankment Protection Project, told residents of his intentions. He said that there are 3 plants that are currently at the AIA site and he has big plans for the crushing plant. He noted that Richmond Beach is home to the best granite rock and has already envisaged the crushing plant to be located there.
There are 3 plants at the Argyle International Airport. There's a crushing plant, a concrete plant, and a hot mix asphalt plant. It is the intention to relocate those 3 plants. And I've already suggested, I'm still waiting on formal approval, I have to present my figures to him, that the crusher be taken to Richmond. I think we have the best available granite rock on Richmond Beach, bargeable. It is going to be difficult to truck aggregate on the terrain that we call a road in St. Vincent on the North Leeward Highway. So we are going to have to move it by boat. But it is ideally located. And I believe that I will win in my proposal to the Honorable Prime Minister and the Cabinet that I can put the crusher in North Leeward, and North Leeward will be exporting stones.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines is joining the rest of the Caribbean region in celebrating Tourism Month 2016, which is observed throughout the month of November. In commemoration of the celebrations, the Ministry of Tourism, Sports and Culture has embarked on a series of activities in an attempt to raise tourism awareness among the general Vincentian public. One of the activities is the Tourism Career Expo held earlier today, which gives students from various educational institutions the opportunity to interact with stakeholders in the tourism and hospitality industry. We hear more about the event in this report by Nikita Tony.
Showcasing the exciting and appealing opportunities in the tourism and hospitality industry, the Ministry of Tourism, Sports and Culture hosted its 2nd annual Tourism Career Expo today, Friday, November 4, 2016, at the Methodist Church Hall, under the theme Endless Opportunities, Discover Your Possibilities. Pointing out that the event showcases all 4 components of the tourism and hospitality industry, which are accommodation, attractions, accessibility, and amenities, Tourism Education Officer Geraldine Charles Scott noted that the aim of the expo is to expose students to the wide range of career opportunities within the industry.
Students will be inspired and encouraged to take up jobs within the tourism and hospitality industry. When they visit every booth, they'll be better able to understand, hey, why is it that you are a pilot? What are some of the things that I can do so that I can pursue? Interestingly, this year we also have the University of the West Indies. So even at the end of it, when they visit that booth, the officer there can say to them, these are some of the programs that the University of the West Indies have to offer as it regards to tourism and hospitality.
Stressing the need for persons to disregard the mindset that there are only mediocre careers within the industry, Charles Scott calls on more stakeholders to get involved in the event, so that they too may be able to share more about their careers.
We love to see the Taxi Association here next year. For me, in terms of the hotel, I love to see a lot more managers participating so that you don't just present to students and let them think that, hey, it's only a housekeeper or only somebody within the kitchen. You know, let them be inspired, let them be encouraged that, hey, you can become director of guest service, you can become hotel manager, you could become customer service manager, you can become food and beverage manager. There are so many job opportunities within the hotel side of things, the hotel sector. There is even more within the travel sector. So that is why we said today that we are presenting the 4 elements of the tourism product.
Some of the students also shared their views on the event.
Beneficial because it helps you to figure out what career you would like to do in the future, and it tells you more about St. Vincent's tourism and places in our country.
It's really interesting for me. I learned that in St. Vincent we have different cultures, because today is the first I know that you could take towel and make animals.
I got to learn the different passports that I didn't know before, from the old one and the new one. I spoke with the persons dealing with the soap. They say it's natural from in St. Vincent itself, and it can help you with your skin.
Good way for the upcoming students to learn about tourism itself and how important tourism is to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Even though we know we are small in number, we still can make a big difference in the tourism industry.
The Tourism Career Expo also featured a panel discussion where students got an insight into the duties of a hotel manager and a quality development manager. There was also the presentation of prizes to local winners of the 2016 Florida Caribbean Cruise Association FCCA essay and poster competitions. The local FCCA essay contest was won by Joel Campbell in the junior division and Kyle De Silva in the senior division,
while Jishun Scintilla was the junior winner of the FCCA poster competition, with Letitia Nichols taking the top spot in the senior division. Nichols also placed second overall for the regional leg of the competition. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
Occupants of a 3-bedroom concrete dwelling house at the Sesha Hill are counting their blessings this evening after escaping a fire which occurred around 2 this morning. Reports are that the house owned by Linda Graves, an 82-year-old retiree, was being rented out at the time. According to police, in the wee hours of the morning at around 2:20 a.m., neighbors realized that the vehicle parked in the garage was on fire and rushed to wake the occupants. At this time, the fire department was already informed of the blaze, but was misinformed of the exact location and instead took the route from the Queens Drive vicinity, where the large fire truck was able to maneuver. This account was corroborated by a neighbor and proprietor of Nice Radio, Douglas De Freitas, who spoke to us on what he saw.
Tried to take our tweeny hoses here and start wetting the car. Then the car exploded because the gas tank. So there was an explosion, so we retreated a little bit and we kept wetting and wetting. Well, it took about 35 to 40 minutes before the fire brigade got here, because what happened? Because the fire brigade, they explained to me because they were told that it was up close to the TV station, the fire truck is too large to take the S corner by Mr. Mall up there. So they had to go around Queens Drive and come around and so they could come down. But if they knew it was here, they would have come up straight, because after they started to wet the house now and came in the back, then start wet the house, in about 5 to 7 minutes they ran out of water, because it's a powerful hose and it would use up a lot of water. So they had to leave and go and come back. But by that time, everything went to pieces. We had electrical fires, they going back. We called Vinlic, Major League called Vinlic. They came, they disconnected the current. But it's sad because we, in the beginning, went to check to see if anybody was in the house, knock on the window in the back. But the persons who occupied the house, which is a Jamaican girl, I think there's a child who lived there with her, I'm not so certain, because I've only been to that house once and spoke to her. But I think she works with Couriers, I can't remember her name. And they lost everything. They lost everything.
The Freitas highlighted the need for more fire hydrants in residential areas and called on the planning department to do more to have them installed.
If you look down right in front of me, you see there's a 4-inch pipe there. That can be turned into a fire hydrant easily. All they have to do is something with Water Authority to work and put on a connection, because we have several houses in this area and there's no hydrant. But that pipe is exposed. I'm the last person that pipe is terminated there, and there's a valve there. So it can be easily turned into a hydrant in case of something here. If that was there and the police had even come with the hoses, they could have connected to that and out the fire. But we don't have hydrants.
Yeah.
A lot of communities have no hydrants. And I this morning on my radio program, I said that. I said, all the planning that we have in St. Vincent, where the town planners, there are no hydrants in housing communities that have a lot of good stock houses that are very costly. I mean, I'm not putting any more value to what somebody have over, because look, you had 2 houses that quarry burned down just recently too.
The Public Health Department in the Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment continues to take a proactive approach to destroying mosquito breeding sites across the country to reduce the spread of mosquito-borne diseases such as the Zika virus. Speaking with SVG-TV News via the telephone, Chief Environment Health Officer Neary James said the department is sending a team to the Grenadines for a 2-week stakeholder vector control program to gather multiple parties involved in the fight against mosquitoes.
Union Island, Palm Island, Mairo, to do what we call a stakeholder insect vector control program. That means that we will be touching base with practically all of the stakeholders, and they will be walking along with us in order to control those breeding sites. We will be doing fogging, house to house, and also we will be also checking public spaces, roads, buildings, and stuff like that.
Jim said the recent days of continuous rainfall is of concern in relation to the breeding of mosquitoes and encouraged the public to do their part in the fight against this vector.
Individuals also need to do it. Okay, and some asking us to at least check around our house on a weekly basis. Spend about 5 or so minutes looking at septic tanks, tires, drums, making sure that they are not breeding. If so, screen, cover, or destroy.
The police have charged 2 persons for the attempted robbery of several business houses in the Camden Park area earlier this week. Nigel Byron, a 27-year-old of Great House, and Yusulu Diriggs, 20, of Camden Park, were both charged for the offense. They are also facing a charge of attempted murder in connection with the shooting of 45-year-old security officer Eugene Gordon. Gordon, who was on duty at ECML, was shot in the stomach. She remains in stable condition at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital.